Hi guys, welcome to Educating Shani. I'm Shani and I have an eating disorder. Hi Shani. Hi. So I'm in a different room today because I'm going to be talking about a very serious topic, which is suicide. And I didn't want to make this video at my desk because, first of all, my desk is like a little bit too cheery for this video. It's too bright and colorful, and also because my desk is kind of out in the main living area where people can hear me making this video, and I'm afraid I won't be able to get through this video if I think people are listening. So I'm in a soundproof room right now, and yeah, so let's get started with this video. This is going to be an extremely difficult video to make. I've already been crying for about an hour. And so I wanted to talk to you about why I'm crying and my feelings on suicide. Really quickly, before I get into all of that, I just want to say, if you are somebody who is thinking about committing suicide and you are on YouTube right now, looking through videos on how to commit suicide, if you're watching this and you're thinking about committing suicide, I am begging you with all of my heart to please talk to somebody. If you don't have anybody in your life that you feel you can talk to, please call this number right here. Call it anytime. They're always available to talk to you. They will talk to you, and you need to talk about this, and possibly it could save your life. You might be told something that you didn't think about before that maybe might save you from committing suicide. So if you clicked on my video because suicide was in the title, I'm glad you did, and I hope that you will watch this entire video before you go looking for other videos and before you potentially do something to take your life that you can't take back. I also want to say to those of you out there who have lost somebody to suicide, I'm going to try to be as sensitive as I can throughout this whole video. Please know that it's never my intent to offend anybody. It's never my intent to make anybody who committed suicide, to make them look like a bad person. I know that there's this stigma in the world and in our culture and everywhere that's like, if somebody commits suicide, they're a selfish person and they're a horrible person and they're mean and they're rude and they're ruining their family's lives and things like that. Like, that really makes me angry. It makes me mad when I hear people say that, you know, people who commit suicide go to hell. There's no way they can go to heaven and God would never forgive them because that's murder. They're murdering themselves. Like, all these horrible stigmas that people have about people who commit suicide. And I just want to put my 2 cents into this and say that I absolutely have never thought that about anybody who commits suicide. I think that that is just a defense mechanism for people to cope with suicide. And so it's understandable. So I'm not like going to get mad at you if you've said that about somebody who committed suicide that hurt you by committing suicide. My thought process is that we don't know what's going through their mind. We don't know if halfway through their attempt, what if they change their mind, but it's too late. We don't know why they're doing it. We don't know what is going on in their brain. We don't know if there's a chemical imbalance, which there usually probably is. We don't know if they were told to do this and promised really good things, like all of the suicide bomber people that I actually just barely learned about recently. You know, these people are promised mansions in heaven and all the riches and all the women and virgins in the world, or whatever, all these people, you know, who do suicide bombing. Like we just don't know what is going through somebody's brain when they commit suicide. None of us know. And so my stance on it is that we should not judge. If anything, we should just pray for them wherever they are and love them and try and remember the happy times with them and the good times with them, and to learn from the horrible tragedy that they went through. Yeah, so I just want to get that out there really quick. So I promise I will try to be as sensitive as I can. Yeah, so, okay, so originally I was just saying, did I say this already? I don't know. I was saying that in making this video, I wanted to get into the mindset that would be appropriate for me to tell you my story about suicide. And in doing that, I went on YouTube and I looked up, like, at first it was fine the first few videos that I saw, but then after that it got really horrible. What I looked up was like eating disorders and suicide or something, and I got a bunch of videos about people talking about their experience with suicide, how they feel about suicide, and it was okay. It felt okay to me. But in one of the videos This girl was talking about her eating disorder and suicide and her suicidal thoughts and her attempt. She didn't give details or anything, which I really, now I really respect, and here's why. Anyway, so I looked, if you watch YouTube, you know that on the sidebar, they'll put videos that are probably related to the video you're watching. And one of the videos said, real suicide caught on tape or something. And I stupidly clicked on it. And for the next 2 hours, I could not stop watching these videos. I'm gonna cry again. It sent me into a tailspin. I could not stop. Like, I watched the first one and it was so intriguing, and it was like gut-wrenching to me, and it made me feel sick, but I kept wanting to watch because there was still that little human part of me that was curious about it, and it was like, I want to feel that like intense feeling again. Like, that doesn't happen, like almost like an adrenaline rush or something. And so I kept watching them, and every time I watched another one, I felt more and more evil. Please don't take offense to this, anybody. I felt evil. I felt like Satan was right there with me, being like, click on the next one, click on the next one. You're gonna see what could happen. You're gonna maybe find a tip for yourself someday or something. Like, I kept clicking on them, and it was so hard to resist. And that's why I'm praying, I'm hoping that if you are out there and thinking about committing suicide, please watch this entire video until it's done before you go click on those stupid ass videos that are out there, because it's just ridiculous and it's sad. And I never realized how, I never realized how upsetting it would be to me to hear other people's suicide stories or to see other people's suicide. What I thought would happen was that it would just kind of get me in the more of an appropriate mood to make my suicide talk video by watching them, but it actually triggered me big time. I watched for 2 hours straight. Luckily, my husband came home a couple hours ago. He came home after me watching for 2 hours. And he said that I was shaking, and I was shaking. I remember this. I'm very clear about what happened. I was very shaky, very traumatized, very upset, very, very upset. And it kind of triggered me, and it triggered old thoughts that I used to have about suicide, and it triggered old feelings of maybe wanting to commit suicide. And that scared me because I have not had those in a while. Since I've been doing these videos especially, I have healed immensely when it comes to my mental state. I don't remember the last time I had a suicidal thought, like maybe a couple months ago. I don't know. And I know that probably doesn't sound very long to you, but this is coming from somebody who has had suicidal thoughts since she was like 6 years old or something, like really young, maybe 7. I don't know how old I was, but I was really young. But anyway, watching them really triggered me, and it made me think of people that I know that have committed suicide. It made me think of the things that I would hear growing up, and it got me thinking about something very interesting that I didn't think about before, and this is something that I want to talk about right now, so I'm gonna. So as I'm watching these videos, I was reminiscing about my suicidal thoughts that I had when I was little, and then I was reminiscing about the very first time that I tried to commit suicide. It does not matter how I did it. There's no point for me to give you details about it. That's not what this video is going to be about, and I'm glad that I learned that before I made this video and stupidly told you details, which could be triggering for somebody watching. Anyway, but it did get me thinking about the fact that where did I learn how to do that? Because my first attempt was when I was 16 years old, and it clicked automatically. I learned what I did in that first attempt. I learned from a boy in my neighborhood when I was really little. A boy in my neighborhood committed suicide this way, and it just didn't click with me that was this a learned behavior. And I want to be very careful. I don't want to offend anybody out there who's lost somebody to suicide, or who has attempted suicide, or has experience with suicide. I really don't want to offend you at all. I'm just telling you my thought process and my feelings about it. It just got me thinking, like, was it learned? Was it a learned behavior? And I started talking to my husband when he came home, saw that I was upset. He was talking to me, and he said, we were talking about whether or not maybe it's a learned behavior to commit suicide. And he said, we as human, and I didn't think about this, but we as human beings naturally feel a sense of protection for ourselves. It's natural for us to protect ourselves. If something traumatic is about to happen to our bodies react and block it or try and run from it or whatever. If something traumatic is happening mentally, we automatically, curl up and just feel so down and so scared and our bodies are affected. Like, it's in us as human beings to protect ourselves. It's just natural instinct. If something, some sort of emergency happens, like a fire or an earthquake or whatever, we automatically think to protect ourselves and to do, whatever we need to do to protect ourselves. And so he said, I don't think it's in our we're not wired to want to kill ourselves. And it got me wondering if, I don't know, these are just thoughts I'm having. I'm not going to say that it is either way. And if you have thoughts on this, I would love to have a discussion about this in the comments below. Please keep it clean. Please keep it nice. Please be sensitive to people who may have lost somebody from suicide. It's not funny, and it's not anything to be taken lightly or to be mean about. Anyway, yeah. But if you do have input about this, I'm very curious to hear, because after today and the things that I experienced today, through what I saw and through what I learned about and through bringing up hard feelings from my childhood and thinking about my attempts and thinking about my suicidal thoughts, it's just really gotten me thinking a lot deeper than I thought that I would. But I was thinking, I wanted to kind of talk about something that did happen to me. This is really hard to talk about. One night I had decided the way that I wanted to kill myself, and I remember starting to plan it and plan where I would do it and how I would do it and things like that. And I went to bed, and really early in the morning I got a phone call saying that somebody in my family had committed suicide. And in a way, this person saved my life, because I went to this person's funeral and I found out that the way that they committed suicide was the way that I had decided how to do it and planned how to do it. And when I went to the funeral and saw this person's mom and sister and brother and all of her family members, and seeing what it did to them, and I'll never forget that feeling. It was absolutely heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. Seeing the pain that they were in, seeing the way that everybody, talked so wonderfully about this person and how amazing they were, which they were, and all of these things, it just broke my heart, and it really clicked something in me, how it actually does make your family feel if you commit suicide. And again, I'm not trying to bash on people who've committed suicide. I know a lot of you out there, a lot of my friends and family have experience with this. Just know that I'm not saying at all, I'm not trying to bash on anybody who committed suicide. Again, like I said at the beginning, we can't judge where their mindset was. We don't know what was going on in their head that made them do that. So anyway, so it really clicked on me, especially seeing this person's mom and the tears that were in her eyes and the pain that was in her soul was heart-wrenching to me. And I automatically went home after the funeral and tried to imagine that same pain in my husband's eyes, or in my mom's eyes, or in my sister's eyes, and my brother's eyes, and my nieces and my nephews. And it seriously stopped me from doing anything ever again. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, so in a way, this person kind of saved my life. But it's tragic how that had to happen. There are people out there who are going through so much more tragedy than I am going through, or that I have ever been through. And so I hate saying that, oh, pity, I'm not trying to be pity me for what I went through. I'm just trying to be real with you about my experience with suicide. So I guess my whole point is, I have a few points. My first point about this whole video is that I wanted to talk to any of you out there who are thinking about committing suicide, And just begging you again, please ask for help. Please talk to somebody first, please. You never know whose life you might be saving by you staying alive. You never know what good you might be doing in the world, or that you're eventually supposed to bring a baby to earth that will have a huge effect on the world, or you might have a huge effect on the world, or whatever. You just never know. If I had committed suicide the 2 times that I attempted, I would not be making these videos. And yes, I'm going to pause and brag about myself a little. This isn't bragging because I don't like doing that. If you know me, I don't know what the word is, but I'm just going to say this. Had I gone through with those suicide attempts, I wouldn't be here to make these videos and help some of those young girls out there who have emailed me and told me that I literally saved their lives, that I literally stopped them from wanting to go down any kind of road with eating disorders or self-harm or suicide or anything like that. And I can't tell you how wonderful that feels to me, that I was able to turn my tragedy and my hard situations and the hard situation that I'm still going through into something that helps somebody out there. And if I saved at least one life, I can't explain to you how wonderful that feels. I can't even tell you what it feels like every single time I get a new email from somebody telling me detail by detail how I help them. And these are people I don't even know. Some of them are super young. Some of them are old, like way older than I am, like my grandma's age, like really old. Like there are so many people out there and you never know who's struggling with what, and you never know who you're going to help. And so if you're thinking about committing suicide, just know that the world needs you. Okay, we all need you. We all have a part in this world. We all have a life to live. And I just want to say that if you that your life is worth living, you are worth being here with us. You have so much to give. You have so much to receive. You have so many blessings waiting out there for you. And you have so many people out there who need you in this world. This world is hard enough as it is, and the more people that we have to surround us to get through it, the better it makes it. And people are what make the world good, and you are what makes the world good. And you have so much good in you. You have so much beauty in you. You have so much talent in you. You have so much strength in you. You have so much love in you. We all do. We're all children of God, and we all deserve to have a life and a happy life. And we deserve to be here. And all of our family members and friends and everybody deserve to have us here. And they love us. And they are there for us if we ask for help. But we have to ask for help. You have to ask for help. Please call this number. Here it is again. Please call them if you're thinking about committing suicide. Please. You're welcome to email me, educatingshani@gmail.com. And I would be happy to do my best to talk you through it. But just know that as somebody who has seen it so much in her life and who has experienced actual suicide attempts, just take it from me that those hard moments can pass. They will pass. We just need to be patient with ourselves and take the time to let it pass, and do those things that we know we need to do in order to make them pass faster and easier and quicker. And then to all those people out there who have lost somebody to suicide, I can't even imagine the pain that you've gone through. Just the pain that I've seen you go through is overwhelming to me, and I'm not inside of your body. I'm not inside of your heart and your mind, so I can't imagine how much it must hurt you. But I just want you to know that I am not one of those people who believes that if your loved one committed suicide, that they're an evil person for making you feel, for leaving you with so much pain, or that they're a horrible person, that they're in hell and they can't make it to heaven because they killed themselves. Like, I am not one of those people. I am here to tell you that I believe that they are beautiful, beautiful souls, all of them, and it's tragic what happened to them, but we cannot judge what they've been through. We cannot judge what happened when they committed suicide. And just know that I believe still that you will see them again, and I know that you'll see them again, and I know without a doubt from experience that they are still with you. I absolutely know this 100%. And then to all of my loved ones out there who are watching, I want you to know that I've realized something. This is something that you have all been telling me for such a long time. And so I've heard it millions of times, but I've never actually felt it until today, until I watched these videos and reminisced about people in my life who have committed suicide and things like that, I really was in a deep, dark place today in preparing for this video, like I just said, and it just clicked with me that everything that you guys have been telling me, it clicked with me, which is that I am committing suicide. I'm doing it slowly, but I'm doing it. And it's hard because eating disorders are not a choice. I realize that whether or not I'm choosing to do this to myself, I'm realizing that the behaviors that I've been doing are killing me. They are making me sick. They're making me hurt physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually. Like, I realize now, like, I actually feel it now. I actually believe you guys now that it's killing me. Yeah, so just know that today was such a hard day for me, but I'm so glad now that I've talked through it. I guess it needed to happen for me. And if you're watching this and wanting to commit suicide, please just know that you're worth so much more than you think that you are, or that you even know that you are. We need you in this world. We love you. You're beautiful. You have something so special to offer this world. Every single one of us does. And I'm begging you to get help and talk about it, please. Okay, so that's my really, really long video for the day. So thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for my weekly Wednesday update. You're beautiful. You are worth it. And I am too. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you. Bye.